Once upon a time, in a lush green jungle filled with towering trees and sparkling streams, lived a magnificent lioness named Leona. Leona was strong and beautiful, with a golden mane that shimmered in the sunlight. But Leona was also very proud. She believed herself to be superior to all the other animals, especially the smaller ones. She'd toss her head and swish her tail, looking down her nose at the monkeys chattering in the trees and the deer gracefully leaping through the undergrowth. One sunny afternoon, Leona was strolling through the jungle, her powerful paws patting softly on the leaves. She was so busy admiring her reflection in a clear pool that she didn't notice a sharp thorn hidden beneath a fallen leaf. Ouch! The thorn pierced her paw, sinking deep into her soft pad. Leona roared in pain, a sound that usually sent shivers down the spines of other animals. But this time, the roar was one of frustration and hurt. She tried to pull the thorn out herself, but it was stuck fast. Pride prevented her from asking for help. After all, how could she, the mighty Leona, admit she needed assistance from a creature so much smaller than herself? Days passed. Leona limped through the jungle, her paw throbbing with pain. She hunted less, her movements hampered by the discomfort. She grew weaker and weaker, her usually bright eyes dull with exhaustion and pain. One day, feeling utterly miserable, Leona slumped beneath the shade of a giant baobab tree. She was so weak, she could barely lift her head. Suddenly, a tiny creature scurried past, a little brown mouse named Pip. Pip was usually terrified of Leona. He'd seen her stalk through the jungle, a fearsome hunter. But today he saw Leona's distress. He saw her pained expression and her trembling body. Something in Pip's small heart stirred. He felt a pang of sympathy. He hesitated for a moment, his whiskers twitching nervously. Then, gathering all his courage, Pip squeaked, "Excuse me, Mrs. Leona, are you all right?" Leona looked down at the tiny mouse, surprised. She'd never imagined a mouse would dare to speak to her, let alone offer help. But her pride was fading, replaced by a desperate need for relief. "My paw, a thorn," she mumbled, her voice weak. Despite his fear, scurried closer. He saw the long, wicked thorn embedded deep in Leona's paw. He knew he had to help. He might be small, but he was brave and clever. For a long time, Pip worked tirelessly. He nibbled and tugged at the thorn, his tiny claws carefully working around the skin. Leona winced and whimpered, but she didn't shoo him away. She understood that this tiny creature was trying its best. Finally, with a last determined tug, Pip pulled the thorn free. Leona let out a sigh of relief, the pain instantly easing. She looked down at Pip, her golden eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you, little one," she whispered, her voice still weak, but filled with genuine appreciation. "You saved me." Pip, feeling proud and relieved, scurried away, his heart full of joy. From that day on, Leona never looked down on smaller animals again. She learned that kindness and courage could be found in the smallest of creatures, and that true strength wasn't just about size and power, but about compassion and helpfulness. And Pip? He knew that even the smallest mouse can make a big difference in the world. Moral of the story: be humble and kind. Size doesn't determine strength or importance. Even the smallest creature can make a big difference.